Black American parents of Reddit, why do you name your kids weird names? Black father here. I think it's because of a mixture of having babies while young, and a desire to have an original sounding name. That's why you might see 1, 2 or more apostrophes in a first name, or a name like Handsome, or Miss Unique or Larry or something like that. I named my daughter a name that's popular in Wales or the UK. I think a parent is obligated to think about a child's future. That's why she has a name that's not original, but one not that many American girls have, and she will have a decent chance at a job. While I like unique sounding names, they are just not for me when it comes to actually naming the kid my wife and I have and are raising. There's also been a trend of white Australian parents naming their kids ridiculous names. It goes like this. Me. Okay. We're enrolling you for a university course. What's your name? Them. Susan. Me. Okay. So that's S-U-S-O-N? Them. No. It's spelled S-O-U-Z-E-N-N-E. Them. My name is Jill. Me. And that's spelled? Them. G-H-I-L. Them. My name is Mary. Me. And that's spelled? Them. M-H-R-O-R-E-E. Don't ask me why. One trend I noticed was that females were more likely to be given ridiculous names than males. I'm black and I have one of those black names. My name was in fact in a very popular rap song and I got crap for it for about 2 years. I am the only one of my siblings with that kind of name and I always wondered why. See, growing up I always felt bad about it and felt my personality didn't match my name. All the girls I've met that share my name have been sleep with a razor blade under their tongue cray cray. I felt everyone judged me for it and it made me feel ashamed. But hey, you grow up and stop giving any fricks, which is what I did despite my black belt name. I recently asked my mom why she chose my name and she goes, well, to be honest, you were the 4th child so I had no clue what to name you. After you were born, the Indian nurse came in and said you looked like a insert Indian name here. I was drugged up and forgot how she spelled it so I made up my own spelling. Thanks mom. It's all part of the rebellion against mini license plate manufacturers. We need more bought license plates in the gift shop. I repeat, we are sold out of bought license plates. Aaron, where Aaron at? I'm watching you, Jay Quillen. I shared a dorm floor with a guy named Cash Dollars Jr. His dad was a rapper that didn't ever really take off. I was like, dang, so you are dad's permanent reminder of a failed rap game. My dad named me low cap tech stock trading undervalue. Just observation here from a childless black 21-year-old. In public high school it seemed that black kids with unique names were more popular than regular black guys named Alex like me. I'm also named Alex. I wasn't popular either, neither am I black. Maybe it lies in the name. Have a look on our namenads. It isn't only black people naming their kids stupid things to be unique. Hi, I'm trying to decide between O'Malley Chantrazel and Tyler Zero Hansen. Note, apparently they're all very concerned about middle names. I don't want my kid made fun of for having a boring name. Oh my god, these people are nuts. Give me your opinion on these names. Gets offended when people give opinions and advice not in line with their original idea. As a black guy, I'll give you a straight answer. I freaking hate that crap too. I don't understand it, and it tags your kid as ghetto for the rest of their lives, even if they get rich. All I can think to myself for someone named Jack and that happens to be an exec or something is, oh that's nice they made it out. It's sad really. My entire family, including most of the extended ones, even the broke ones in bad neighborhoods, use regular names. Thank goodness for that. Because they want to be unique. White guys have names like Lenny and black guys have names like Carl. I'm black and that's my full name, Carl Lenny. I am black and my parents named me after the apostles. That is a stereotype, but I think a lot of them want to have unmainstream names. It's not a black thing so much as it's a poor thing. In various rural Appalachian parts of the country, you'll find very old stock white families giving their children almost unthinkably weird names in a similar way. The homemade name effect is one that accompanies many people who tend to have less education, less socioeconomic status, etc. It just so happens that a disproportionate number of black people in America are stuck in these lower socioeconomic statuses, and thus more susceptible to homemade name syndrome. fact, I've seen a lot of rather funny comments mentioning how it's some sort of cultural imperialism to criticize these names, which, as a grad student in history, I know has no validity. In the pre-globalized world, someone's name was translated from language to language as they moved about the world. In the unlikely event that they did, my great-grandfather, for example, named Pietro, was known as Peter or Pete after coming to the United States, because the two names are one and the same. The Hebrew, somebody mentioned this one. David is the same name as the English David, Arabic Daud, etc. These names have long-term heritage and cultural relevance in the English-speaking world, but even legitimately historical names, which have not usually been given in the English-speaking world, like Barack, for example, shouldn't be belittled and compared to the homemade names that the uneducated poor give to their children. These types of names tend to be chains that lucky few can break, because they foster all sorts of stereotyping. You'll notice that middle-class and well-educated black people do not typically use these bizarre names any more than do whites, because they know how much a stigma you saddle a human being with in reality when you give them an embarrassing, unpronounceable, ugly name. Of course, I expect that someone will jump in and say, well, all names were thought up once. Who are you to stop letting people think them up now? But it's not really about just that names are old. It's aesthetics on a piece of paper and to the ear. If it stands out noticeably in an unpleasant way from regular English language parlance, then yes, it's one of the aforementioned homemade names and it's not good. I agree that it is more of a poor thing. I met a white waitress in rural Georgia whose name was Laken. I asked her about it because it seems like such a unique name for a girl, to say the least. She told me she was named after her two grandfathers, Larry and Kenny. So, presto, Laken. Then she proceeded to tell me about her prescription drug abuse problem. Go to love IHOP. Didn't Frank Zappa name his daughter Moon Unit Zappa? But I guess that's a whole different story. Yes, and he named one of his sons Dweezil. White people are making up a lot of dumb butt names themselves. Nevi is one I dislike. Heaven backwards. Really? Stop it, everyone. From this moment forward, I swear to name my future child Nekini. Zeus, why do you keep calling me Jesus? Do I look Puerto Rican to you? John McLean, guy back there called you Jesus. Zeus, he didn't say Jesus. He said, hey, Zeus, my name is Zeus. John McLean. Zeus, Zeus, yeah, Zeus. As in father of Apollo, MT, Olympus. Don't frick with me or I'll shove a lightning bolt up your butt. Zeus, you got a problem with that? John McLean, no, I don't have a problem with that. I'm a black person. There is nothing sectarian about this question. It's a phenomenon. Dress it up in sociological terms and it's a dissertation topic. That OP felt the need to justify his intent is really the fault of those who are looking to be outraged at the drop of a hat. As a person struggling with a tactile grip disorder, I resent the fact that you believe I can't hold on to my hat. This is a class issue. I am a black man, my kids have normal names, I make over 90 a year. I have family members who make way less, poverty line less, and their kids happen to have weird names. This extends to the family members' circle of friends as well. And my group of black friends in my circle, their kids have normal names. Take the same scenario and extend it to poor and rich white folks, you will then see a big difference in Michaels and Bob Arrays. Let's not forget rich white people. Look at Jason Lee from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Pilot Inspector Lee, come on. I am a black man, my kids have normal names, I make over 90 a year. At first I thought you meant you make over 90 kids a year. After the 1960s, the black community began polarizing against the white community and refusing to name its children with European names because they viewed white Americans as the Europeans who enslaved them. So they had a choice. They could use traditional African names or Islamic names, which is a bad idea because the Arabs enslaved significantly more Africans than Europe ever did. So they tried to mimic African names. But considering they didn't have knowledge of African names, they tried to wing it, and that's where these names come from. These names are an attempt to replicate African names without knowing African names. This is more common with poor blacks. Most of the time it's because the mother thinks it's a cute name. I'm glad my father put his foot down and named me after himself, or I would be Taven's goatee. I think it is more common with poor people in general, as white people usually associate names like Crystal, candy, apple, etc. with white trash. I don't know why, but poor people like weird names. Perhaps a way to lash out or get noticed. This is a poor person thing, not a black person thing. I live in a 99% white community, and I can tell the poor kids in my children's class simply by looking at the names on the roster. Little Jaden and Damien and Braylon don't deserve your judgment. Probably the 60s Black Power movement. People wanted to distance themselves from their white names. The first slaves brought to the New World literally had their African names taken from them and were given new white ones. There was a bit of a trend to try and do a kind of reversal of that, with black folks legally changing their names, and I guess it kind of evolved into people giving their kids names like Lokisha and Trevon. I guess it was a bit of a success. Black folks wanted black sounding names, just like whites have white sounding names, Jews have Jewish sounding names, South Americans, Chinese etc. And now we have them. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the need for people to give their kids unique names had a large part to do with it in the begging as well. Keeping with that tradition, I am Hispanic and will name my child El Señor de los Chiles. My grandmother was a high school professor in post-World War II Yugoslavia, to a generation of pupils born right after the war, which the communists won. They had names like Translated, Collective, Machinigan, Lininka, Stalinka, Yugoslav. I'm not a black parent, but I am black. I don't have anyone in my family with those pseudo-black names, but I had several friends that did. The names came about in the late 40s with Malcolm X and intensified in the 60s 70s when the original Black Panthers were becoming a prominent voice for black people. One of the many things preached by them was to give your black children black sounding names to distance themselves from white people as much as possible. For a while it was okay, and most black parents gave their children Muslim names or very tame pseudo-black names. But in these modern times it's been bastardized to the garbage you're seeing today, and yes, it is embarrassing. I am half German and half African American. My sister's name is Kristen, but my name is Darshall. I wouldn't say my name is ghetto, it's just odd. I hate my name, because you'll never get those groovy rulers with my name on it or find a keychain with my name on it. People say my name is unique, I just don't get why my dad named me that. My daughter's name is Annalise, pronounced Annalise, and someone told me her name was ghetto. I have plenty of friends with oddly spelled names and I do not find your question the least bit xenophobic. OP. No joke, my dad said that my mother's side of the family relatives was really meddling in my name selection because I was born a week without a name, so my dad half jokingly named me Gorbachev. I'm Asian. You have been visited by the Doggo Beer Master. Comment delicious so you always have beer in your life. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.